And with the basic materials, if I go into the light menu and go up here, and I can say, I can move the light around and my object will update because it's the light is actually affecting it. Now, if I move this orange dot around, it's going to move where the light direction is coming from. If I tap the orange dot, it's going to send it around behind the object, and now you can kind of put in a little rim light on the side here. If I tap it again, I'll bring it around to the front. You can also stack light, so I'm going to turn on this light here. If you just touch it, it selects it, but it's not visible. I've got to touch it again, click it. Now it's on, and now I've got another light to control. And on this light, you can also go into like light properties. You can turn shadows on and off for it. You can go into background. This is where you can bring in your HDRI images and use high dynamic range images to do image-based lighting, IBL. Essentially having an image, just like when we were in Painter with iRay, we had an image loaded up, and as we rotated the environment, the lighting changed on your object. That's using an image to light your object using image-based lighting. So we have our light put in here. We can change our light properties. We can change the intensity. I'm going to put like a blue light in here. So as we move this secondary light around, it's a blue light. You can make the intensity very intense, or you can make it very low and very subtle. It's up to you. And again, you can stack these as much as you want, turn shadows on and off. And now when we BPR render, we've got two lights. The second light isn't going to cast a shadow. So again, we're just going to have one shadow cast. If you want to start changing light properties, you got light properties in here. And again, we've already talked about material properties. You can change those. And also, of course, you can change your render properties. Again, all three of these menus work together to create your final image. So you can go into your BPR. Every time you hit BPR, it's throwing information into your render passes. So you can just click these and export these as PSDs. So your shaded, your depth here, you can use this to like do a lens blur in Photoshop. And again, I think I cover all this in the image-based lighting thing, but you can export this as a depth map. You can use this in Photoshop to do a lens blur, so you can just like click on your object and it'll kind of blur it out. You can also do, here's your shadow pass. Ambient occlusion is turned off, so if you want to render ambient occlusion, you got to go up here under render properties, turn it on, and then you can go into AO and be like, you know what, I don't want it blurred that much. I want to do more raise in resolution to get a higher resolution AO. You can turn down the strength of the AO. So now if I render this, now if I had just left it here and not touched it, it would if you don't touch your object, it'll re-render what you did previously. So if I just tap here and it turns it off and I hit it again, it'll render really fast because it's just putting your previous BPR right back on your object. However, if I rotate it or move it, now it's going to re-render everything. But now when I render, we have our shadow pass, we have our AO pass here, and now it's all rendering this. So feel free to change any of these properties. You can go into your shadow and you can say, and again, I cover this all in another material or the other playlist, but you can blur out your shadow. You can change the resolution to kind of blur your shadow a little bit, turn down your global strength, all that good stuff.